Hello and welcome to Pure Lab Events. My name is Yunshi Wilson, guest correspondent for MedEdge and CEO of MedExpay. And today I'm going to be interviewing Rudi Schmidt. Hello, how are you?
Thank you, I'm fine. Thanks for having me.
Well, I've got a few questions here for you, and we're just going to kind of run them through. So first question I have is, what role do medical labs play in the early detection of diseases?
Crucial if they can interact with the clinicians in the clinical routine, because the lab can only help if they submit a test, of course. But I think in future that has been shown during the pandemic, the role of the labs will raise, the importance will raise. It's just simply, let's say, one of those few potential ground truths in medical care. And to compare diagnosis and clinical routines, you often struggle a little bit because it may vary, but let's say with the test from the lab, at least with a certain accuracy, give you some kind of information, and you can repeat it or dive deeper once you have first insights. So let's say, from my perspective, it's the natural born navigation system for clinical routine and handling all kind of diseases and of course also infections.
Absolutely, that's wonderful. So in what ways is AI being integrated into lab testing, and what benefits do you see that it brings?
Well, we have to make a difference in between the current state and the future, which some of the AI people call narrative. For others, it's an equity story to attract investors.
Yeah.
And sometimes these equity stories and narratives are, let's say, overselling to be open. Right now, you have to overcome certain challenges. It's not only the accuracy of the test, but it's the nature, different lab roads, different devices for the same test, different consumables, and all that impacts, let's say, the training data of AI. But often the AI people don't have that on the radar.
Right.
So there are more data scientists, more bioinformaticians than people with deep lab domain knowledge.
I see.
And I've seen many AI people going into that lab direction.
Yeah.
And when I don't see at least one or two lab domain experts, I'm always a little bit careful with that. So in future, the role of, let's say, machine learning before AI, that it will be for sure. It has a bright future, but we are not yet here.
There yet.
And what is also missing is, let's say, the connection to the clinical real-world data, the clinical phenotypes, because it doesn't make sense. You find a pattern in the lab profile, and then you cannot translate it into the diagnosis back in the hospital or in the outpatient clinic. So that is, let's say, the pathway I would assume AI will take in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's promising, but we are not yet.
We're not there yet. It makes sense. Totally makes sense. So what are some current trends shaping the future of medical laboratory services, in your opinion?
Okay, that is a variety, and for sure we will sit this afternoon still.
Yeah.
But let me make a selection. I think genetics is necessary but not sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about multi-omics,
Yep.
and that for sure will be an upcoming trend because it gives you so much more additional information. Your genetic makeup is interacting with your environment, with your lifestyle as part of your environment, maybe with the infections you get or not, and all that kind of stuff. So among all these things that may shape the future of lab testing, for sure multi-omics is a safe bet.
Okay.
And what about the other things next time?
Yeah, okay. Multi-omics, you guys heard that. And then final question that we have is, how has digital pathology revolutionized diagnostic procedures in medical labs?
Okay, we are mainly talking about oncology and cancer surgery on the one hand, and on the other hand, let's say the quality of the pathology report. Here you have, so in my humble clinical physician's perspective, it is like that. It's sometimes you even see if you run through large data sets.
Yes.
And you see that also in radiology, that the human factor, the diagnosis in the afternoon are sometimes less accurate than on the morning, which or simply has to do with that people are tired. This is one thing. With digital pathology, you have some kind of support, and that elevates the quality. I am aware that most of pathologists and radiologists do not like to hear that. On the other hand, it gives you the chance to do additional things to identify patterns that previously you simply were not capable to detect, because no one can compare in its human brain, let's say, a bunch of 10,000 samples from 10,000 patients and discover a pattern.
Right.
And of course, apart from speed and other things, that is my very personal thing, and I'm for sure other people will have a different perspective from that. But from my daily life, that is something I like when it comes to digital pathology.
Yeah.
To talk about that, to run these huge complex queries with AI, image analysis. And image analysis is for sure the strength of AI nowadays. So combine that, marvelous.
Yeah.
That is one of the best use cases if you combine digital something with AI, actual digital pathology, and also radiology.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Dr. Schmidt, for your time. I really appreciate it.